What a nice showing. Thank you so much for coming. Welcome to the UNE College of Pharmacy Professional Transition Ceremony for the class of 2020. 2020 has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? I'm Jean Woodward, Associate Dean of Student Services at the College of Pharmacy. Today's ceremony is being live video streamed to all parts of the world and will also be available to view after the ceremony. I ask that at this time, if you have a cell phone, if you could silence it, that would be super. And so I'm going to ask the class officers to lead their classmates into the auditorium. What a handsome group. Very nice. You may be seated. It's an honor to stand before you this afternoon as we come together to recognize a significant milestone in the lives of our students of the College of Pharmacy and of the university, the professional transition ceremony for the Doctor of Pharmacy class of 2020. I'm losing my voice already. We're here to celebrate a major transition in the academic lives of our students. It's held at the end of the third year of pharmacy school. This event recognizes and celebrates the pharmacy students' transition from the didactic preclinical years to a final practice clinical year of pharmacy education. Transitions are often symbolized by the butterfly life cycle, beginning as a caterpillar and then going through various stages to become a beautiful butterfly. But it is Maya Angelou who recognized the challenges of that transition best. She stated, "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty." Class of 2020, today we acknowledge the challenges and changes you have gone through and celebrate this new opportunity for you to demonstrate all that you have learned, to fly like a beautiful butterfly. Think back to your white coat ceremony. You have come a long way. To celebrate this level of achievement, each student has been given a new white coat, deep pockets, with the UNECOP logo, their embroidered name, and a patch that the college specifically commissioned of Miss Ashley Dombrowik. She's actually the daughter of one of our professional staff persons, Pauline Dombrowik, for this celebration. Let me say a bit more about the two items on this patch, the bowl of Hygeia and the phrase Lucenzi ardens. The bowl of Hygeia has been the symbol of pharmacy profession since the late 1700s. It is the most widely recognized international symbol for the profession of pharmacy today. Hygeia really was a Greek goddess of health. She was the great-granddaughter of Zeus, daughter of I always screw this, Asclepius, god of healing and medicine. The cup contains a potion, and the serpent is the symbol of healing. Lucenzi ardens is the motto for the University of New England, and it means, literal translation is ardor for light, or we can say passion for learning. So now with this little background about the patch and the symbolism of this ceremony, I asked the Dean of the College of Pharmacy, Dr. Robert McCarthy, will provide a welcome from the college. Dean McCarthy.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. It's very good to see our students again, who probably are tired of seeing me because I seem to appear before them every time they turn around. When I arrived here in August, I started doing something called McCarthy Mondays, which is just a very brief video that Renee and Carrie got me involved with, and essentially an update on the school. And the last one I just filmed to be shown this week talks about April in Maine. And President Herbert and I were talking about this the other day, and he said, I love everything about Maine, except I hate April. So it's just a bad thing. And I said, well, how bad could it be? It's April. It's not March. It's not February. Well, we've seen what the weather's like. But today, probably because of our students and this big celebration, we have a beautiful day. This is what spring really ought to look like. The other thing I wanted to say is, I've been in pharmacy education for 33 years, and I continue to be amazed. And as I said, I just arrived here in August. Continue to be amazed by the support that pharmacy students receive from their families. Just absolutely amazing. There's no other major that I've seen in higher education that gets the kind of support from families and friends that our students get in pharmacy. It's amazing. I mean, it is in the middle of the day on a Thursday, and yet we have all these folks here, including some folks who traveled from Holton, which may be the farthest away. I'm sure it's just amazing to me. So thank you all, the families, for being here. We've got some very young people who are here and a little bit older people. So do we have any grandparents who are here? I always love the grandparents. Can you just wave? So we ought to get a special, you two, you can't be old enough. You grandparents? Wow. Anyway, I always love to acknowledge the grandparents anyway, and all the families. Again, thank you so much for being here. So, the dictionary defines transition as the process or a period of changing from one state or condition to another. Given that description, today's ceremony certainly qualifies as a transition. The class of 2020 is celebrating the completion of their didactic studies as they are about to begin their advanced pharmacy practice experiences, which will encompass all of their final year. So they'll be done with their didactic courses, and they'll be in rotations all of next year. You've all worked very hard over the last 3 years to reach this milestone, so on behalf of all of us, congratulations for getting to this point. Over the next year, in a range of clinical settings, you will put into practice all that you've learned. As I've shared, some, perhaps all of you, are a bit reticent about whether you are ready for this step or not. I can tell you are ready. As I have shared with a number of you, you will likely experience something in your first rotation, perhaps on your very first day. Someone on the team during rounds at a hospital will ask a question. You'll think to yourself, well, that's a question that everyone knows the answer to. You quickly realize that you're the only one who knows the answer. And then you realize that you really are ready to begin your clinical training. Clinical training in pharmacy has undergone many changes over the years. My own transition was limited to just a few months and 2 rotations over the summer, hardly enough to gain the experience necessary to become what in those days we called a clinical pharmacist. Today, you will spend 36 weeks over the course of a year completing 6 rotations, truly preparing you to be entry-level practitioners. You will join healthcare teams that not only embrace the role of the pharmacist, but see the pharmacist as integral to their ability to provide interprofessional, patient-centered care. In a little more than a year, we will again gather for another transition ceremony, one that will mark your formal entry into the pharmacy profession. As with most graduating students, I suspect you will look back with amazement at all that you have learned over the previous year. You will once more take your professional oath with the realization that you now do so as a new pharmacist. On behalf of our professional staff and faculty, we wish you all the best in what is sure to be a learning-filled year ahead. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dean McCarthy. I ask Dr. Krebs to introduce our keynote speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone, especially my students. We're not going to talk about APPEs or schedule changes or anything, I promise. But I have to repeat, Dr. Woodward said, you guys look fantastic. It's getting near the end of the semester and you're looking a little weathered some days. But today I'm like, wow, you guys look really, really great, all of you. So thank you for rising to the occasion today to clean up and look professional. I'm getting a little weathered too. The semester is really tough on us too. But I'm really here to introduce Dr. Sam Cushing. Sam is an incredible person. I want to tell you a little bit about him, and he can be a role model for all of you. Sam started at UNE in 2010, and he received his degree from UNE Biddeford, and then he came to the College of Pharmacy. I got to know Sam really well as the class of 2018 faculty advisor. So Sam was the class president. So Sam would share to me when students were upset about their APPEs or other things. We'd have discussions. So we got to know each other really well over those 4 years. As well, Sam was the Dean's Ambassador. So he did a great job with that, so I got to chat a lot with Sam. Sam is going to hopefully inspire you today, talk a little bit about his APPE experiences, about his career. Some things you might have in common with Sam, or maybe you had some of your IPPEs or APPEs at the same place as Sam. I know that he did his institutional IPPE at Mercy Hospital, which is now Northern Light Mercy. He did his community with Target Pharmacy up in Augusta. But then in his final year, what you're getting ready to do, he went back to Mercy, I believe. He was at Maine General for 6 weeks. He did some work with Hannaford. He also did work with Dr. Redwanski for 6 weeks, Dr. Nada for 6 weeks, and he also did some work at Walgreens. But in the end, he ended back with Hannaford. He started with Hannaford as a technician back in 2010 and then became an intern. And then upon graduation, he took a position with Hannaford. He ended up in Belfast, which is a quaint little town on the coast here. So he took his position in the autumn. He passed his boards over the summer successfully, which we were not concerned at all with Sam, or any of our students actually. And then on Labor Day, so that first Monday in September, he took on the position. He was supposed to be afloat for Hannaford, and he was. He took on the position on a Monday up in Belfast. Well, by that Friday, 4 days later, he was the pick. So I'm sure Sam was nervous, but that's what happens in our profession. You show up, you're expected to be a pharmacist, you're doing a great job, and then 2 days later, 2 months later, it's like, will you be the supervisor? And you're gonna think like, how can I do that? How can I be the supervisor? How can I manage this pharmacy, the inventory, HR issues, all those type of things. And Sam has really, really rolled with it, and I'm sure he's quite successful. So he moved to Belfast in September, and I know this past January, him and Desiree, his girlfriend, bought a house, they have a dog. And I said to Sam earlier, it's so adult-like, Sam, it happens so quickly. You're a pharmacist, you're a homeowner. But I know he's excelling with all of that. So I'm going to turn it over to Sam to give you some words of advice.
Thank you for the introduction. So I'm going to apologize up front for my beginning remarks. And that's because 2 years ago, I sat in the front row, right there, except we were over in Lutke, at this very ceremony, as a student about to embark on my own APPEs. 2 years ago, I remember exactly who spoke at my ceremony, but as I am now, for the life of me, I can't remember a damn thing he said. The reason I apologize is because that man was Jim Krebs. Now, I'm certain back then, Jim inspired me to go forth onto my APPEs and do great things in my final year as a student. But how he did so escapes me, otherwise I would have had an easier time preparing my own remarks for you all. I thought back to being a student, and and tried to think of some things that I wanted to hear from someone having been through it all. So let me start with the basics, and I'll work myself up to the inspirational piece. I guarantee every one of you are interested in knowing, how do I pass my APPEs? Some of you are even saying to yourselves, can you even fail an APPE? Yes, you can. Now, passing them is no secret, but oftentimes it's useful to state the obvious, so I boiled it down for you. Show up, follow the rules, do no harm. That's it. You can't pass if you don't show up. Be there early, not just on your first day, but every day. Being early is an aspect of professionalism. It allows you to arrive safely to your APPE, especially during those winter months. It allows you to mentally wake up, prepare yourself for the day's tasks. It allows you to socialize before the work really begins, and it allows you to get that morning coffee. You are all professionals. Early is on time is late. You can't pass if you don't follow the laws and policies of your APPE site. HIPAA is a real thing. Those scenarios and training seminars put on by the university are far from pointless. Understand what you can and can't do, and take pride in knowing the difference, because it will serve you long after you complete your APPEs. You can't pass if you cause serious harm. Confidence is key, but being accurate is even more important. You can potentially cause harm by answering confidently without accurate information. Every APPE is an opportunity for you to hone your skills and put your knowledge to use. But there'll be plenty of things that you still don't know, and that's okay. It's okay not to know every answer, but it's not okay to not know how to find it. Your skills in drug information and deciphering professional papers will prove some of the most important. It's okay to ask your preceptor for assistance and guidance before jumping headfirst into rounding at the hospital or counseling every patient at the community pharmacy. Your preceptor and other pharmacists you work with can't help you learn if they don't know what areas of opportunity you have. If you know you are weakest on infectious disease, then don't guess at every answer. Admit it's an opportunity of yours and ask your preceptor, how can we spend the next 6 weeks nailing down this knowledge with their help? Lastly, you can't pass if you don't do the prep work. Yes, I'm talking the RX prep or whatever else the assigned work you may be given from the College of Pharmacy. Silently complain about it all you want, but do the work. It has its purpose, and it will serve you its purpose come time to take your exams. Just trust me on that one. Passing your APPEs should be the lowest rung on the ladder of your goals for this year. Everything I just stated to pass them should come at no surprise. And it should sound relatively easy, and that's because it is. But it should be everyone's goal to succeed in their APPE and make the most of every rotation. You currently know nearly everything you need to succeed. The learning never stops, but as you sit in your chairs today, you've been taught nearly everything you need to know. Now it is up to you to apply it on your APPEs and build upon it for your future career. So here's what to expect as you go forth, and maybe some tips on how to succeed. Every APPE is going to challenge you. You should view each challenge as an opportunity. Expect that no two APPEs are going to be alike. Much like your IPPE experiences, everyone's was different, and they will differ from the next. Many of you will be challenged in different ways. Challenged to take on multiple projects at a time, challenged to express your own recommendations and not just what the book says, and yes, sometimes even challenged to stay awake and keep yourself occupied. Some APPEs will have that exact 6 weeks plan for you, and others will have no plan. Make the most of these challenges and do your best work regardless of the situation you find yourself in. 6 weeks will fly by so quickly that it will require no assistance from yourself. What I mean by that is never go into your APPE thinking, what do I need to do just to get through these next 6 weeks? Instead, ask yourself, how can I make the most of my next 6 weeks at this rotation site? Each APPE is an opportunity for you. If you don't take advantage of it, you'll get nothing from it. Treat each day like a job interview, because that's basically what it is. Each APPE is an opportunity to grow your network of connections and potentially even land a job. You can either choose to be remembered as the student that tried hard, offered to take on more work, was eager to learn, and was respectful and professional. Or you can choose not to be remembered and instead written off as just another student who clearly didn't get the APPE they wanted. I don't have to tell you which will prove more beneficial. Although they haven't even started, APPEs will be over before you know it, and you'll be looking beyond them to your exam and where your career takes you. I have no tips to provide to pass your exams beyond making sure you know what you don't know. Make a conscious effort to improve in those areas that you find yourself weakest, and you'll find yourself prepared. Every one of you can and will pass your exams if you make it a priority. After becoming licensed, I'm sure there are already many things that you've heard from veteran pharmacists that have told you not to do. I'm sure you've already been told, don't buy that new car or other big, large purchase fresh out of school. Your loans are going to hit you harder than you think. Don't become a manager or pick. Take time to hone your skills as a pharmacist first. I'm here to tell you it's okay. Make smart decisions, but don't be afraid to jump at opportunities. Never stop challenging yourself as a professional and in your career and looking to the future. Once-in-a-lifetime opportunities are just that. They're finite. They only are in that moment, and if you don't take advantage of them, they'll pass you by. As Jim introduced me, I worked 40-hour weeks, commuting 2 hours each way while accomplishing my studying as a graduate. It can be done. I passed my exams and became licensed, worked my first day in a 2-pharmacist store, but on a holiday. I was the only pharmacist and only had 2 techs. It can be done. 4 days later, I was offered and accepted the pharmacy manager and pick position for one of the top 10 busiest pharmacies in the entire Hannaford company, who's also seen 6 different managers in the last 7 years. And I haven't quit yet. It can be done. In January, I bought a house because there was no reasonable renting options. It can be done. I drive the same 2001 Corolla that I did since I was 16, but I'm actively looking for that new vehicle before this other one gives me any grief. Trust me, it can be done. And all of this said, yes, I have my own fair share of student loans. You can believe me about that, and I trust every one of you can get it done. Let me close by explaining, I say all this because you shouldn't be worried about what's to come, but rather excited. APPEs are an exciting time. There's merely a few more hoops to jump through before you are out on your own as a licensed pharmacist. Expect to be challenged, but welcome each challenge as an opportunity to learn more and grow as a professional. When opportunities arise, don't let them pass you by. Jump at them and see where they take you. Don't let anyone tell you you can't or you shouldn't. Sure, heed the advice you've been given, but strike out on your own and have confidence in yourself. Never stop building your network of connections, and never be afraid to reach out. I certainly wouldn't be where I am today without a great deal of help myself. You will do great things on your APPEs and in your future careers. I have confidence in each and every one of you, and I can safely say that because I have confidence in this institution that prepared myself personally when I was in your shoes 2 years ago. I thank everyone for this opportunity to speak today. I look forward to the future for you and all the students, and for the College of Pharmacy itself. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Dean McCarthy and Dr. Cushing. All right, it's that time. It's time to don your coats. So please stand, don your new coats, and remain standing. I ask Dr. Sutton to please come to the podium. They're pretty nice, aren't they? Deep pockets. Thank you.
Well, it is a beautiful day today. Hi, I'm Dr. Steve Sutton, the class of 2020 advisor. Welcome families and friends of our new class here. It's about to embark on their APPEs. It was a beautiful day like this last Sunday, and I was busy doing yard work when all of a sudden I realized I have to come back to UNE to pick up the Crips, my wife. So, so I figured, well, I'd pack our 2 pups into the car and go up to UNE. And while I was there, I was hoping I wouldn't run into anybody, but Dr. Krebs was there. And he mentioned that I clean up nice because I was wearing my dirty dungarees and hadn't washed yet, you know. But you guys clean up nice too. You all look very nice. There's one other thing I wanted to say, and that is, despite Dr. Cushing's advice, I did buy a new car right out of pharmacy school. It wasn't a really flashy car, it was just a Toyota, but it worked great. Okay, we're going to do the oath of a pharmacist. So get out your little, I have the big print because I'm not as young as you. Okay, let's all recite it together, okay? I promise to devote myself to a lifetime of service to others through the profession of pharmacy. Fulfilling this vow, I will consider the welfare of humanity and relief of suffering my primary concerns. I will apply my knowledge, experience, and skills to the best of my ability to ensure outcomes for my patients. I will respect and protect all personal and health information entrusted to me. I will accept the lifelong obligation to improve my professional knowledge and competence. I will hold myself and my colleagues to the highest principles of our profession's moral, ethical, and legal conduct. I will embrace and advocate changes that improve patient care. I will acknowledge my knowledge and skills and experiences and values to prepare the next generation of pharmacists. I take these vows voluntarily with the full realization of the responsibility with which I am trusted by the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sutton. Please be seated. You do look great. Thank you all for sharing this great day in the lives of our students, the College of Pharmacy, the University of New England, and frankly, the profession of pharmacy. At this time, I also would like to acknowledge those who have made this event possible. I first have to acknowledge our speakers. Thank you very much for helping out. And I'd like to put some light on Renee Dana. Renee Dana, yeah. Where is she? She's over there. Renee organized this event. She organizes most events for the College of Pharmacy. And I think, you know how there's a movie, The Wedding Planner? I think there should be a movie with Renee starring the event planner. I think she'd do great. Thank you, Renee. I'd also like to thank Ms. Peggy Mowat and Renee for paying so much close attention to detail. They actually steamed every one of these jackets with the help of Sam and Neva. A little help from our friends. That's a lot. I mean, the dean said, "Why are you doing this?" Well, because we want it to be perfect for our students. So I thank them for going to this extra effort for our students. I'd like to thank our photographer, Jeff Schur, photography. And I'd like to thank Mr. David Dadiego, who is doing the technical work, recording this and live streaming it for us. Finally, I think we need to thank the entire College of Pharmacy faculty and staff, all of us. Please. Please stand. I've been to a half dozen colleges of pharmacy. I've been employed by a half dozen. No one wants to keep me, so I keep moving from pharmacy school to pharmacy management. You guys are so serious. And I have to say that this is the first and only college that I've been to where the faculty and the staff are so committed to the students. The atmosphere is so supportive that it's a pleasure to work with them. I'm on the faculty as well, but as part of administration, I appreciate all that they do for us. Thank you so much. Class of 2020, beginnings are born out of endings. Go make us proud. Everyone, please stay for some refreshments, mingle, take pictures, and this professional transition ceremony is now adjourned.